in all of history. So that was politics. Now,
I used to live
yes,
under a
religion, false religion
so I'll
causes.
probably agree with you on that one.
Jesus said to share with people and love you, but do unto others you'd have them do to you. If you're a real follower of Jesus, you're not going to be going out to start wars. But Muhammad had a viewpoint of spreading his religion by the sword. It's a big difference. In the Catholic Church.
What was whatchamacallit? What did Bush call the Iraq thing? Oh, the crusade. What was the crusade? Weren't there swords involved in the crusade?
That was the Catholic Church.
Yeah. Are you associating Christianity with Catholicism?
No. They're all different. That's the problem. There's too many religions.
That's right. And the difference between what Mike and I believe in all those religions is they'll tell you their church is the way, and we'll tell you Jesus is the way.
Okay, but you never answer my question. Does the Bible cause wars?
The truth doesn't cause wars, no. Hey, listen, Kirk, thanks for calling.
One more quick
I
question.
hope you continue,
I just have
Dirk.
one little quick question.
Okay.
Quick, we've got someone on the line waiting.
Okay, you know how you guys say that, you see the light and you will be saved and blah, blah, blah. Okay, what about someone, and follow me on this one, someone that's living in the jungle, some indigenous person that's never heard of the Bible, of Jesus, they don't get saved, where do they go?
You want to respond, Jay?
Well, God, first of all, God says no man will be without excuse. Second of all, he said...
But he never heard of Jesus.
Second of all, in the book of Romans, in chapter 1, he talks about, in my creation alone they will know me. So they will be, that's why they'll be without excuse. If they just look at creation, you will see the hand of God.
Okay, but technically, he never got saved, so how is he going to go to heaven?
Let me jump in there. Scripture says two things. One, if you've heard of Jesus, you're responsible to check out who he is.
But
number
see,
two,
that was my
point,
God never heard of Jesus.
I know.
They're happy in their little...
Let me answer.
He's leading to that, Dirk.
Let me answer. If you're out in the jungle, Dirk, if you're out in the jungle, God can, and you want to know God, the Scripture says you should seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart. God, I've heard of situations where people have dreams and see Jesus and turn to Jesus. I've heard of situations where people find a portion of a Bible somewhere, or they run into somebody out in the boonies. Hold on. In these days, those things can happen. And Jay was referring to a period before Jesus ever came and everything like that. The Scripture says that Jesus, when he died on the cross, he went and witnessed and shared with those in the pits, in prison. So we think God is fair and he's going to make it away. But you're responsible, Dirk, because you know about Jesus. But thanks for your call. We've got another caller on the line named Steve. Steve, how are you doing?
Steve, are you there?
I'm okay. How are you guys?
We're good.
Yeah.
What do you want to share tonight, Steve?
What do I want to share tonight?
Yeah.
I guess I personally have learned at least a little bit about the teachings of Jesus Christ, and it would seem to me that in way of contemporary pop music, I would think that Frank Zappa would have more in common with Christ himself than any of the other contemporary Christian artists out there today. Being that he was, he went against the grain, and he was, an actual philosopher and conveyed some of the most incredible musical philosophies and teachings available in music. I mean, he really did, make some remarkable recordings that are renowned and respected as being some of the most incredible forms of music, ever made.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just curious, why go after that? I mean,
hold on a second. We showed Frank Zappa with a mask on, Satan and everything. We're going to show film down the road where Eric Clapton talks about this guy being the greatest musician of all time. And he said he was the greatest musician of all time because he had asked the devil to give him power. He was a terrible guitar player, couldn't write songs for a lick, disappeared for 6 months and came back, was the best guitar player anybody heard. His name was Joe Johnson. And B.B. King talks about him as being the greatest musician he ever heard. And he said he traded his soul to the devil. And there are many musicians that we're going to see that utilize spirits. Now, Satan is very intelligent, can write some great lyrics, and can go right through Frank Zappa. Can go right through Frank Zappa, hold on, and give him incredible ability to write music. Go ahead.
Hear Satan's albums.
What?
I want to hear Satan's albums, though.
You do? You want to hear Satan's album?
Some crazy stuff.
Why do you want to hear Satan's album, Steve?
Why am I curious to hear the music made by the Dark Underlord? Are you kidding? That sounds incredible. That sounds remarkable.
Oh, when it's all said and done, then what?
When it's all said and done,
he wants the Dark Underlord. Hey, if you want, Steve, if you want the Dark Underlord, he's all yours. We've got another call, Mike. Mike, how you doing today?
Oh, hey.
Hi, Mike.
Yeah, no, I guess I just had a couple questions. I came in, started watching during this segment on the rock, music, rock and roll, the clips you were showing, you know?
Yeah, we've shown, what, a 10-minute clip so far?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And the guy was asking questions or interviewing kids about lyrics and stuff. But anyways, no, I was wondering, I guess I want to make sure I understand. Is like prayer a communication or a form of communication with God? Like, can you channel God through prayer?
Well, I wouldn't call it channeling God.
I know. I thought you might be kind of weary using that term, but
yeah, I would call it just sharing my heart with Him, and then He speaks to us through His Word,
which is the Bible.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think I guess I was curious to know what the conclusion you're making about music. Do you think that it's inherently of the devil, or do you think that it can be used for example, Christian music? There's a whole market for Christian music. Do you look at that as having the same effects on people, just in a different way?
Yeah, let's respond to it. Yeah, I mean, Scripture says to sing and make melody to the Lord in your heart. So there's good music and there's bad music, just like any invention can be used for good and for bad.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, that's what I was wondering. I wasn't sure because the gentleman on the right had commented that he had in his past had listened, was a fan of rock music, and that eventually kind of turned to you still do listen to music. It's just a different type of music now.
Yeah,
softer, gentler.
Yeah, and what I'm finding out is when I run across some old music, like even Zappa. I used to follow Frank Zappa when I lived in Chicago.
Yeah.
Is when I listen to it now with this heart change I've had, it starts hardening my heart, and I start feeling oppressed almost. So I can tell there's a big difference today than there was then when I had no clue.
Oh.
And so I've experienced the effect that music has, especially when you walk in the dark. You don't know it.
Mike, are you a spiritual truth seeker?
I don't know. I guess in general, I guess I am. It's to me, it seems like everybody is natural.
Do you think there could be a heaven and a hell, Mike?
Yeah, sure. I sure.
Have you read any of the New Testament?
Have I read any? Yeah, definitely. I've read some of the New Testament. Most of it is mostly Revelations, but I haven't. I've read some of the Gospels, but mostly it was. I think the majority of what I've read is in Revelation.
Well, I think if you ask God to show you if it's true, I think He'll start to speak to you in different ways through people and divine appointments in different ways. I think, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're experiencing some of that tonight, Mike. A divine visitation. God's just kind of opening you up as in your heart you start seeking. He starts showing you some things. And He just maybe wants you to just pay attention and maybe take another step towards Him.
Are you on the internet much?
Occasionally.
Okay, we've got an interesting website with great links, with all sorts of fascinating information that can help enlighten you. I really think so, like anyone. I mean, I learned so much from these different creationists who used to be evolutionist scientists, for instance.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to had a couple questions. I commented that it's an interesting show, and I appreciate you guys opening dialogue up to different people.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for
thanks
calling,
for calling.
Mike.
We've got.
Take care.
And,
you too.
And maybe to generally answer his first